family. So somebody hit me with a question, and the question was, what's the relationship between vaccines and anaphylactic shock, and how can anaphylaxis lead to autoimmune disease if it does at all, right? So I'm going to answer this question, and then the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to explain what a cytokine cell is and the importance of understanding how cytokine cells work and their role in autoimmune disease and their role in anaphylactic shock. And then I'm also going to quote the gentleman who actually won the Nobel Physiology and Medicine Prize in 1913. His name is Charles Richet. He actually won the Nobel Prize for his research on anaphylaxis. And he made a very profound quote. And it's amazing that this quote exists, and we know this, and we still inoculate most of our population. But I'm going to share that. But first, I'm going to describe what a cytokine cell is and what it does. Of course, I'm not going to give you the full WebMD definition of what a cytokine cell is. You can Google that. But essentially what a cytokine cell is it's an assignment cell. It actually gives out assignments to other cells. All immune cells that deal with inflammation, cytokines they give assignments to. So though the cell growth and the cell replication actually depends on the cytokine cells themselves. It's a direct correlation. So imagine if the cytokine cells are damaged, or if the way they interact with other cells are damaged, then the immune system itself is pretty damaged. You got a bad situation when you got wrong assignments being handed out, or no assignments being handed out at all, or even too many assignments being handed out, which is referred to as a cytokine storm. So essentially what a cytokine storm is, I'll read to you guys the definition of a cytokine storm so you understand what I'm saying. So a cytokine storm or cytokine release syndrome is a life-threatening systematic inflammatory response involving elevated levels of circulating cytokines and immune cell hyperactivation. So this is too many cytokines in the bloodstream. Too many assignments being given out, like I said. It says this hyperactivation can be triggered by various therapies, pathogens, cancers, autoimmune conditions, or monogenic disorders. But various therapies was the first thing it listed. That's the key. So now understanding that various therapies can also trigger the cytokine storm, if an inoculation or vaccine is a therapy, now we're going to read the 1913 quote by Charles Richet that explains what anaphylaxis is and how it happens and how a cytokine storm can come from anaphylaxis. All right, so this is a quote by Charles Richet. He said this in 1913 as he gave his Nobel Prize speech. So he says, "We are so constituted that we can never receive other proteins into the bloodstream other than those that have been modified by digestive juices." So that's important. Hold on to that. It says every time alien proteins penetrate, they penetrate by infraction. And what that means is just like breaking and entering. It says the organism suffers, then becomes resistant. That's that overactive cytokine storm response with the anaphylactic response. It says this resistance lies in increased sensitivity, which is like autoimmune disease or anaphylactic response. It says increased sensitivity and a sort of revolt against the parental injection, which actually could be fatal. So what he's explaining is the body wasn't made to receive foreign proteins through injection. The body was made to receive foreign proteins through inhalation. The body was made to receive foreign proteins through inhalation and through digestion, or just through natural pathways. Now, it doesn't mean that the body cannot receive proteins through injection. There's a lot of things that you can inject that might save your life. But on average, injecting foreign proteins into the body may not be the smartest thing. And this is what he ends his speech with. He says, anaphylaxis is the universal defense mechanism against the penetration of heterogeneous substances within the blood, whence they cannot be eliminated. So what that means is if the body can't figure out a way to properly eliminate these foreign substances, that's what heterogeneous means. It's just foreign substances. If the body can't figure out a proper way to eliminate these foreign substances, so if there isn't a decent immune response to it, then the second option is an inflammatory response, which is anaphylaxis, which is autoimmune disease, which is the cytokine storm that I just explained. And this is how inoculations are dangerous.